All right, guys. So my name's Hannah Owens. I've been with Archer since May of last year. Today we're going to be doing a training on kind of where do you book what? Which suppliers do you use for what types of travel? Um, it's my first time doing a training like this, but I do think that it's something that is much needed. And I was actually requested to by one of my agents. And so I wanted to go ahead and do that. So I've got some notes here and we're just going to get started. I'm going to do a lot of screen sharing, going through. We may go through kind of quick, but I'll pause occasionally for questions and things of that nature. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen and we're just going to get right to it. So the first one we're going to talk about, and everybody knows VAX. So this is one that you should have registered with as soon as you became an agent. VAX is good for, hang on, can't think. Most things. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with VAX. Okay. It is great, yes, because there are so many suppliers built into one site. I typically use VAX if I am doing a package deal where they want flight and hotel and rental car or just flights and hotels. Usually the prices on VAX are very comparable to what you'll find on Expedia TAP. Are they cheaper? Sometimes, depending on which supplier on VAX you're using. For instance, one time last year, actually around this time, I actually booked myself and my daughter a hotel flight rental car package to fly from Texas to Virginia for a festival. And I use Southwest Vacations because I like the fact that you could, two bags are free for each person. And so I wanted the free bags. And we actually ended up getting, it was just one night of hotel that I needed, but we actually ended up getting the hotel for free. It was up to like $150 or $200 off. So the one night hotel stay actually ended up being free with that. So it really just depends. But definitely if you like flying Southwest or have clients that use Southwest, absolutely use Southwest Vacations. They have some really awesome specials a lot of times. But all the suppliers on VAX generally have some kind of perk or something that's going on, or a certain dollar amount off, depending on where the client is traveling to. I typically use Apple Vacations or FunJet, or I will use, like I said, Southwest Vacations for trips through VAX. So also, I like to use VAX for multi-destination travel. I actually did a training on that last week. If you guys want to watch that training, it is on my YouTube channel. And I will share that with you guys here in a bit. Or Cami, since you're on here and I know you love helping me, if you want to get that put in the chat box for me, I think you have that, right? Okay, good. Candy's going to put my YouTube in there. There's not very many videos. I just started recording my trainings, guys, so there's not much on there, but there's a couple, and that multi-destination is on there for you guys. So I use VAX for multi-destination too. That would be if somebody is going to be either flying from multiple, to multiple destinations, or even if they have just one round trip flight, but they need multiple hotels during their stay. You can do it that way too. It's very customizable. And I go into that in the other training. So those are the things that I use VAX for. Like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with this site, but that's VAX. Does anybody have questions about that so far? Or are we good?
Good.
Okay. And if you guys have questions, whenever I'm stopping for a moment to ask for questions, if you guys want to unmute yourselves, you guys should all have the ability to do that as well. Okay. That might make it easier. So that's VAX in a nutshell. Next one we're going to talk about is Pleasant Holidays. Pleasant Holidays, they are known as our Hawaii specialist. Okay. Anytime I want to look at either a mock booking for Hawaii or I get a client who's interested in Hawaii, I automatically start with Pleasant Holidays. Their prices for Hawaii are going to be comparable to the others. and pay decent commission as well. So if it's Hawaii, definitely look at Pleasant Holidays. You can also use Pleasant Holidays for the multi-destination type travel that I was talking about, and we go into great detail on that, on how to book a Hawaii multi-destination island hopping package on that training that I have on my channel as well. Okay. So it was pretty awesome training. So also for Pleasant Holidays, um, just something to keep in mind is they are better for packages and for popular destinations. Um, if you're looking for somebody who wants to maybe travel to a smaller city that's not real well known, you're probably not going to find it in their inventory on Pleasant Holidays. Pleasant Holidays is great in some aspects, but it does not have as great of an inventory as, let's say, Vax or Expedia TAP do. But it is awesome for Hawaii and also multi-destination travel. Any questions on also Pleasant Holidays? Since I don't know how long everybody's been with Archer, you do have to be an active agent for 30 days before you can get registered with them. Okay. So once you've reached your 30-day mark, you'll have access to that. Any questions on Pleasant Holidays or Vax and what you can do with them? Do you know how long it takes to get approved once you register after 30 days? Um, it's been over a year for me since I did mine, but I believe within a couple days. I don't think it's instant. Um, again, okay, yeah, Jessica's saying it was just a couple days. So, um, yep, not a problem. So we're gonna keep moving right along, guys. So the next one I have on my list is Expedia TAP. Okay. So there's a lot of things I absolutely love about Expedia TAP, and there's a few things that I don't. Okay. There's more things that I like about it than there are things that I don't. So Expedia TAP, I absolutely love it for its user-friendly abilities. Okay. Like Expedia TAP is the exact same as regular Expedia is to the general public. So if you've ever used it in the past, it's the exact same when you're using it as a travel agent. Okay. So that I love. I love the options, their inventory. I mean, you can find anything pretty much on Expedia TAP. Love it, love it, love it for its inventory. You can find anything in just about any city, right? I also love it for me for booking my own travel. I love it for the prices. Expedia TAP will almost always have the lowest prices when you're looking for a basic hotel, car rental, um, things like that. You probably won't find it any cheaper unless you're looking at wholesale, which we'll get into in a minute. Um, it's generally going to have your lowest price. Those are all the wonderful things about it. Another great feature of Expedia TAP is, as far as I know, it is the only supplier that we have where if they're booking a flight, or not a flight, but a hotel on a car or just a hotel, many hotels on Expedia TAP will give you the option to reserve it now, and your client can actually pay once they stay at the resort, okay, or the hotel. I love Expedia TAP for that, especially when I'm booking my own travel. It allows me to be able to reserve something now that I maybe have to save up for the next 6 or 8 months, but I can make sure I secure the room that I want, and then I can pay when I get there. So I absolutely love it for that feature as well. So the things that I don't like about Expedia TAP is, number one, the commission. Okay. Not only is the overall commission payout that we get not as great from Expedia TAP, but we only, as agents, normally we get 80% of whatever commission is paid by the supplier. With Expedia TAP, we only make 50% of that. So not only do they not pay as great of commission generally from the beginning, from the top, but once you get your portion, you're only getting 50% rather than the 80%. So I try to stay away from Expedia TAP when booking for clients unless it's my only option to keep the client. So if I have somebody who's really, and I get them a lot, penny pinchers, and they're trying to save every dollar they can, if Expedia TAP has something that they want, and it's, $50 less or $100 less for a package here than it is on Vax. If it means keeping the client, typically for me personally, I make the decision to go ahead and book through Expedia TAP because I want to be able to keep that client. You have the option to do with that whatever you choose. So that's totally up to you as the agent. Do I still get Jennifer, you said, do I still get commission from that? What are you referencing when you book ahead and pay later? Um, you know what? That is a good question. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I don't know if anybody else on here has that answer. Feel free to help out. Um, so because again, usually if it's that, I that's something that I've booked for myself. Usually I won't book that type of thing for a client, but if a client is wanting that, I'm not sure how that would work. I imagine it could work that way because you're not going to receive your commission payout till probably 60 to 90 days after they've traveled anyway. So I would assume so, but I'm not going to promise that. Are the prices available to agents lower than if the client goes to Expedia direct? No, typically they are the same. So the other thing that I use Expedia Tap for is if I have somebody who is booking flights only, I have up here in the top corner, you guys can see it, my chat box is in the way. In the top corner here, I have this Rakuten. If you guys don't have that, ask your mentor to send you a link. Since we don't, I personally don't charge any kind of booking fees or anything for my clients unless it's been a royal pain in the backside and they've, been kicking tires for a month and stringing me along. Then, yeah, I'll probably add in something for myself, but typically I don't. And so whenever I book flights only, since I'm not going to make any commission, right? What I do is I book through Expedia Tap. You will have the exact same availability and the exact same pricing as you would direct with any airline site or through Google Flights. But when you use Expedia Tap, you can, if you have Rakuten downloaded, it'll automatically pop up and you would just click to activate. And this percentage of cash back varies. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But usually on Expedia Tap, it's between 3 and 10%. Okay. And so you would just click to activate that. And then after you purchase the plane tickets, Rakuten will deposit X amount of dollars into your Rakuten account that you can then transfer to your bank. It's not life-changing money, guys. But it's a little something, right? Something is better than nothing. The other thing I do want to point out though is that when you are using Rakuten, let's say I came here and I'm going to book package for myself or somebody, and there's commission that's going to come to me for like $150, let's say. Rakuten is still going to pop up. You cannot use Rakuten and get commission. Doesn't matter what site you are using, you can only choose one or the other. Okay. And we can actually get in big trouble if we try to double dip on income. So if you activate Rakuten and then you also fill out a commission tracking form for the same package, Expedia TAP is going to know that you, the agent, are getting two payouts for one booking. And whenever Archer goes to try to collect from them, they're going to say, oh, well, she already got paid out from Rakuten. So don't use Rakuten for Expedia Tap unless you're doing flights only. Okay. Now, if you want to charge yourself a separate wholesale fee when you book flights and charge that to your Square account or your Google PayPal, business PayPal, good Lord, you can do that. That's fine. But you cannot double dip payouts from one supplier. It's a big no no. So, because I heard rumors going around a couple months ago, and people were like, "Yeah, you can use Rakuten and you can get commission." And I was like, sure, because they were talking about it with not only with Expedia, but also with Viator. And we're going to get into that one too in a minute. And so I was on a training with Amy Cabrera and I said, hey, I had a question for you. I said, this has been going around. And she was like, no. And so she explained everything to me and it made perfect sense, right? If you were paying somebody, you wouldn't want to have to pay the same person twice because they're trying to pull from two different things. So anyway, I'm enough lecturing about that. You can only get one source of income when you're doing this, okay? So that's Expedia TAP. Any other questions about Expedia TAP? Well, actually, hold on a second here. Is there a difference in terms of booking a flight on Expedia TAP versus booking direct? As far as terms of like policies for the airline, no. So what I would recommend with that is we have 10 leg, which is our travel insurance, and I can show you guys that too. I would always, if I'm doing flights only, I'm going to recommend them purchase a 10 leg policy. It's not expensive, but definitely worth it, especially if they have expensive flights or multiple people flying, definitely worth it to offer that. But as far as the terms with that come with the particular flight, usually they are the same as exact as if you were to book them direct. Should I reach out to Archer if I did that when I started booking? Lori, you can, but you can if you want to, just to kind of CYA type of situation, you can. I don't think they're gonna, come down on you with a hammer, but definitely I would just not do it again. So 10 leg instead of what the website may offer. You can add, okay, so if it's flights only, you can add, like, let's say you're not doing, Expedia doesn't offer travel insurance. That's the other thing. So if you're on Expedia TAP and you're booking, especially if it's flights only and there's no travel insurance, definitely 10 leg. Some of the other suppliers, they do have um, trip insurance that you can add on to it and you can definitely sell it from there. That's fine. That's equivalent. But if you're using like Expedia TAP where they don't offer trip insurance or you're booking flights only on somewhere else, I would just try to sell them some 10 leg insurance because they can choose the type of coverage they get. Okay. And you make 17% commission on it. Yeah. Okay. That's all right, Cami. I'll get my channel put in there here in a bit. So 10 leg, we will go into 10 leg more in a minute, guys. Okay. I don't want to go off a tangent on that one yet. I want to get through the rest of our travel suppliers first, and then we'll go into it. But it is offered, it is a supplier offered by Archer. Yes. So that's Expedia TAP. So the next one is Vacation Express. Vacation Express is all things Caribbean. Okay. If you think beach vacation, Vacation Express. There was a while there when we weren't using it as much. Archer has actually had to redo their contract with this supplier, and so they weren't making as much in commission, but we are now back to earning 80% of the commission from them. So it's an awesome site. Sometimes they run amazing specials. So if you have somebody who's wanting to go to Cancun, Jamaica, Aruba, definitely start at Vacation Express. From what I remember, I haven't booked anything on here in a while. I believe, like at the top right here, you can see they have 20% commission depending on where you're booking to. So it just depends, but they have awesome deals. And they also really highlight and they're really big about like nonstop flights. They're all about getting your client to their destination as quickly as possible. So Vacation Express is awesome. I like it. They have some really, really, really good prices sometimes. So anything beachy and Caribbean, think Vacation Express. And that's all I really can say about that one. That's what we use it for. So next up is Classic Vacations. So Classic Vacations, you can book. I can't type and talk at the same time. So So on classic vacations, you can book packages for people. I do not. I find that their prices for packages are more expensive usually than their other suppliers. What I like it for is condos and house rentals. So if you go up when you're logged in here, it just shows book a trip and all that. You have to go to this little menu and go to vacation rentals, and they have a pretty good selection of vacation rentals. We're talking vacation homes, condos, things of that nature. And they have really, really good prices too. Okay. And they pay out decent commission. I actually booked a client to Puerto Rico last year, and I found them a one bedroom condo on the beach that had a full size jacuzzi in the master bedroom. Like it wasn't just a little tub, like it was like a four-person jacuzzi in the master bedroom. And they had just an incredible time. So, um, I highly recommend that. You can also, when you're booking vacation rentals through Classic Vacations, um, they don't want they can also pay it in payments. What they'll do is they'll pay a deposit and then the remaining will come out at a later date. So that's super helpful as well. But I really do like Classic Vacations for vacation rentals. Um, and that's there's other so now that we're on the topic of vacation rentals, this is a big one too that I see in chats and stuff a lot is where can you book vacation? Okay, so we do not use Airbnb specifically, okay, at all because they are not regulated, and they have a really bad history of people renting vacation homes through Airbnb to only arrive at the home, and the people who own the home are still living in the home and didn't even know that their home was listed for rent as a vacation property. Okay. And it's happened um, quite a few times. And so Archer is not willing to work with them because they do not regulate their stuff and keep tabs on it like they should. And so Archer's not willing to put their self on the line like that. So we do not use Airbnb. We do use Verbo, okay, VRBO. We do use those, and we can book them through like Classic Vacations. Also, Expedia TAP. You can find vacation rentals on Expedia TAP as well. They have an incredible selection, like they do with everything else. Again, the prices are usually really good, but also the commission is not going to be though. So I would say that Classic Vacation prices are comparable to Expedia TAP. You may not have as much of a selection, but it's still a great selection. There's also Red Awning, and I can put that in the chat. So Red Awning has vacation rentals as well. I have looked at them a few different times, but I find that their selection is not great and they're very expensive. So unless you're just really not finding what the client wants, that's another option you can look at. But I personally don't care for that one. Thank you. I'm sorry. Apparently, I'm not. There you go. So it's redawning.com. And they I believe they are listed. If they're not, I know that we can register with them and use them. Okay, but let's see here. If somebody sent you one through, yes, you should be able to either there or Expedia TAP. Usually, if they send it though, we are able to find it. I know I helped an agent a while back. She was looking for one, and we ended up finding it, I think. But you should be able to. It may take a little bit of looking. And also something to keep in mind whenever you're looking for vacation rentals. Um, Sometimes when, and this goes for packages too, not just vacation rentals, but even for like resorts, something that I have kind of learned along the way, and this doesn't have anything to do with what I'm teaching today, but when you're looking for particular properties, I find sometimes that if you put too many filters, it will actually remove some of the options that you may have actually been interested in. So like there's been times where I've been looking for something with a jacuzzi maybe, and I selected that under the filters because it's something that I really wanted to have. And it brought up a few results, but when I took that off and refreshed it, it actually gave me more results that did in fact include the jacuzzi. So keep that in mind if you guys are using the filters. Sometimes they're great, but sometimes you may actually end up cutting out options that you would have otherwise been interested in seeing. Okay. So that's vacation rentals. Um, okay, so European destinations, Scotland, Ireland tours, things of that nature. There are a couple, there's three main suppliers that we use. Okay. The first one, and I'm just gonna type them all into the box here. The first one is Trafalgar. And I don't even know if I say that right. I'm not sure if anybody knows how to say it right, but Trafalgar, they do European tours and things like that. And they will pretty much, you put in your request of what you're looking for, and they will help build the trip for you. Okay. There's also Europe Express, and Europe Express is the same thing. They put together tours and packages for you, and you let them know what you're looking for or what your client is looking for, and they pretty much build the whole package for you. And then there's also Brendan Vacations. They specialize in Ireland, Scotland, but that is not all that they do. There are other destinations also. I'm most familiar with them only because I have a client that I actually have to resubmit a quote request to Brendan Vacations next week. But Brendan Vacations, okay, or Key Tours. Okay, thank you. Um, Brendan Vacations, I like because they offer lots of different options for the clients. And I'm sure these other ones do too. But what I thought was neat with Brendan Vacations is that you can either book guided tours or you can even do a self guided where they will set up basically your itinerary for you with all of your different destinations, but you will actually get your own rental car when you get there and you can actually drive yourself from point A, B, C, D, and so on. So I'm not sure. I'm assuming that the other suppliers offer those types of things as well, but that was the first time I had seen something like that. And so that was cool to me. So that's European and all those kind of tours. Those are probably your best options. Okay, and then we have RoomRes. RoomRes is good for hotels, car rentals, airport transfers, and things like that. Um, I've looked on RoomRes, and I'll go there actually. We're sitting here. I've looked at RoomRes. Nobody kill me for saying this. I have not been too impressed personally. Oops. I have not been too impressed personally. That's just me. But they do have hotels, transfers, even attractions, car rentals. Um, the prices oftentimes are decent. Um, but usually if I'm booking something like a hotel only, usually it's been for myself and I want to save more on the front end, so I've gone to Expedia. But you can use this one for these different types of things. So then Sandals and Beaches resorts. So Sandals and Beaches, you have to be an agent for 6 months before you can have access to them. Again, that one, once you register, it takes a few days to get access to that. Once you've been an agent for 6 months, you can register with Sandals and Beaches. And I highly, highly, highly recommend any um, of those type of things that you then book direct through Sandals. They pay out excellent commission. It's almost 20%. Um, and so definitely, definitely book through that. When booking through Sandals and Beaches, if your client needs airfare, highly recommend you do not use their link because when you're booking through Sandals and Beaches, you have the option to add in the airfare. I highly recommend against using that feature when you're booking your client's airfare. Um, because the way it is set up through Sandals, is they book the airfare through another third-party company. When you book it, you're booking it through Sandals, but they're actually processing it through another third-party supplier. And if your client ends up having a flight cancellation or delay mid-trip, it is much harder for us to, we can't just call the airline. We have to go through Sandals, who then has to go through that other supplier to get your clients fixed up. Okay. There's no way for us to directly reach out to them. And so, highly recommend, do not book flights through Sandals and Beaches if you get that. Okay. Just a little something that I have learned by being in the Sandals and Beaches chat box or a group on Facebook is that that happens quite often. So don't. So now I'm just reading through some comments real quick. Beaches has a certified kids club for autism. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that Beaches had that. That's awesome. They have a kids club for special needs children. That's awesome. See, that makes me just want to book there more. Can't you book Sandals through Vax too? You can book Sandals through Vax, yes. Um, so if you have not been, in for 6 months, you can still book with them, but it will have to go through Vax. That is an option, yes. Is the commission going to be almost 20%? No, but you can, at least if you can keep the client though, if that's something they're really wanting. Yeah. So Tiffany, go through Vax and you can book them with Beaches or Sandals. Also, when you book through Sandals and Beaches, every time you book a client, you actually earn points towards your own free stays. So that's a good thing to have too. So we all like free vacation, right? So the next one I'll go ahead and go into, we're going to get, well, I'll go ahead and go through wholesale first before I get into other stuff. So wholesale, that is going to be My Profit Agility and Evil Rewards. So My Profit Agility is wholesale resort weeks and hotels. Um, you're going to find your best prices on this for resort weeks where the travel is happening within 60 days because you have last minute, rooms that these different resorts are trying to fill. And so they drastically reduce the prices. Depending on where your client's wanting to go, you may or may not find a super awesome deal on here, but it's good for doing mock bookings and things like that. If you're wanting to kind of use like I call it clickbait because it's kind of what it is, right? We're fishing. We're trying to reel people in with our mock booking ads. And so, Profit Agility is a great resource for that. Typically, so I'll show you within 60 days. The first one that always pops up is Dominican Republic, and it's always the same couple of resorts, and they always price it automatically. It'll always be automatically set price, sorted from price low to high. But as you can see, Dominican Republic, this is always the first one that comes up because, and you can look at it and see for a studio, which only sleeps two, but still for 7 nights, it's only if you were to go and you weren't going to charge either yourself or your client any extra commission or anything. Again, these are wholesale, so this doesn't include commission right here, but still 7 nights for $256. Like, where else are you going to find something like that, right? So, but it's really awesome because let's say you have clients who are wanting to go and they really want to go to the Dominican, or you can use this as a mock booking. Okay. It shows that normally this would cost $17.99. So let's say you want to book this and it'll give you your different options of what's available. They even have a 2-bedroom unit that sleeps 6 people for the week of September 24th to October 1st, $493. Okay. For 6 people. This price is at max occupancy. Even if you only had 2 people stay, they would still be paying this price if they wanted this 2-bedroom unit. But this $493 covers all 6 people for 7 nights. Okay. So if you were to book that for your client, okay, you can charge a max of 17.99. Well, it's only listed at 493. So let's say you want to make some instant commission. Okay, and I'm not going to have to go into a lot of this, but you can use these buttons down here to add commission. Okay, so now their total is $750. Still $750 for 7 nights in the Dominican for 6 people, and you're making $150 in instant commission. Okay, and you can adjust that as you see fit all the way up to this max price here. Okay, so that's a great way to earn instant or daily commissions, is using Profit Agility. So that's what this one is used for. And you can also do just hotels too. Okay, up here at the top, and you can put in whatever destination you want and your dates. If your client has specific dates, you can see if you can find them a good deal on here. Okay. Same thing with Evo Rewards. Evo Rewards is our evolution of wholesale pricing. And this is the one they talk about a lot when they're doing the presentation and things. You can find sometimes hotels for really, right now they have some, depending on when you're wanting to travel, they have some Vegas hotels. I did a mock booking for Vegas hotels the other day at the Excalibur for $13 a night. And I'm like, okay, I want to go to Vegas and stay the night for $13. Like, you can stay for a whole week and spend not even $100. So, um, a really good avenue for doing mock bookings is with this. And again, you can add in a little extra and earn daily commission on that. They also do theme parks. Okay. And with this, though, also, guys, sometimes they have really amazing deals. Sometimes the prices on here are the same as what they would be if you book direct. So, for instance, there was one time, and I haven't looked, so I don't know what the current status is, but back for spring break, I took my kids to SeaWorld. And so I went to Evo Rewards because I thought maybe I can get a good deal on some SeaWorld tickets. Unfortunately, when I booked them, it was the same price as it was on SeaWorld's website. So maybe it was because it was during spring break, probably a good possibility. But so you always want to price compare too. Don't just assume that the wholesale sites are going to have the same pricing, because that is not always the case. You can always definitely start here and see what you can find, and then go look at some other options like Vax or Pleasant Holidays or wherever, and price compare and see what they can get. Okay. I also do always like to look at Expedia TAP, even if I'm not planning on booking through them, so that I can see the price that the clients can get on their own. Right. That's always something that you'll want to know. So it can be really good prices here. Sometimes though, it's not better. So it's always good to price compare. Well, those are the two wholesale sites that we have that you can do any components, activities, flights, cars, hotels, and packages. So that is that. I'm going to visit the chat box again here for a moment. Has anyone? Okay, let's see here. I've noticed when pricing on Evo Rewards, the client might have to pay extra fees at the resort. What would that be? So a lot of resorts do charge resort fees. Even if you're booking something on Expedia or Vax or somewhere else, always read the fine print. A lot of resorts and hotels now charge resort fees or daily fees that have to be paid at check-in. So it's not just specific to Evo Rewards or My Profit Agility for wholesale pricing. That is becoming common practice all across the board. So always be sure to check the fine print on any hotel or resort you're booking, regardless of what site you're booking on. Has anyone here ever stayed at that first hotel that always pops up? I have not, Jessica, but I want to. Like, I've told my husband that what I honestly want to do is just start letting like Profit Agility like decide where we're going to vacation next. Like, let's find a good deal and let the universe choose our vacation for us. So I honestly do, though. I am very curious about going and staying there just so that I will know. when you look at different reviews on like TripAdvisor and thing, they have decent reviews for the majority of the places that My Profit Agility has. So I'm assuming it's good. I know Marnie went with Gail and a couple other people several months ago. They went to a place in Costa Rica and she said they had a great experience. So um, I'm assuming that it would be okay, but I'm definitely curious as well. Do you find the hotels to be decent and profitable? Yeah. So again, just to piggyback off what we were just saying, most of them have decent reviews. So you can always do that too. If you're looking at either booking your client there, you can always go to TripAdvisor or look up the property on like Google reviews and see what people are saying. And you also though have to remember is unless there's something major that is consistent across all the reviews, something that I try to keep in mind also when I'm reading reviews, though, is that people are 10 times more likely to leave a review when they've had a negative experience versus when they've had a positive experience. If you go to a restaurant and your service sucks and there was a hair in your food or whatever the case may be, more than likely you're going to post about it, right? But if you go out and you have a fun family dinner at Applebee's with friends or your family, how likely are you to post about that? You're much more likely to post a negative experience than you are a positive as a general rule. So when I read reviews about places, I try to take that into consideration as well, unless it's something that is consistent with all the reviews. Let's say there's 50 reviews and 30 of those reviews, somebody talks about, you know, the food being bad or the pools are always dirty. Then more than likely the food's not going to be very good and the pools probably aren't either, right? If it's the same thing with every single person, more than likely that's going to be the case. But if it's random complaints about different things, I would definitely take a look at the overall amount of reviews that have been left. So when I've looked at the prices, they're pretty much the same as if you look through Expedia Direct. So that actually limits commissions quite a bit, right? So it depends. If you find something on Profit Agility or Evo Rewards and you find something for similar pricing on Expedia, go to Vax because chances are if it's the same on Expedia, then Vax may have it for very close and you're going to make a better commission that way. Also, though, um, you have to remember that you're using Profit Agility and Evo Rewards for that instant commission. So anything you book anywhere else, you're not going to be getting any type of commission for probably 60 days at least until after the travel has taken place. So you'll have to take that into consideration as well. On Profit Agility, do they include the commission or do we have to charge separate? So yeah, you can do that two different ways. Okay. Let me go back to it. Well, I think I left it. Yeah, I did. One second here. I will show you again. So on My Profit Agility, when you're in here, again, we'll go back to that same one just because it's there. Okay, so we're going to book this. Okay, again, here we are. Okay. So let's say you want to make $200 in commission on this. Okay. And they're still going to save tons of money. Um, if you're booking that this way, you can do it two different ways on Profit Agility. If you were to adjust the price, and this just shows you how much you can, to give you an example, okay? So if you were to check out, okay, with this set to this, and you making this 146.72, and you were to check out this way, then you would have to wait on that 146.72 to come on a commission payout. But the other option you have, okay, is you can see how much commission control you have. That's what they call it, commission control, because you can control how much commission you make. So let's say you want to make this, but you want to make that money today. What you do is you bring this dollar amount all the way down to zero. So they're only paying $389.17, but you're going to charge them a wholesale fee of $150. What you're going to do is let them know that their price is whatever 389 plus 150 is. You're going to give them the total price. Okay. So basically $550, right? You're going to tell them, okay, it's going to be $550 and let them know they're going to see two charges. One is going to be for this $389.17, and the rest you're going to charge to your Square account or to your PayPal business account that you have. Okay, whatever avenue you are using for your instant commissions, you'll pay that wholesale fee to that, and then you'll have the daily or instant commissions that way. So there's two ways to do it with Profit Agility, but it's nice to be able to have this tool just to sit here so you can actually see it on the screen. Because if you're like me, I need a visual when I'm doing something. It's nice to be able to play around and decide, well, how much do you want to make? So that's how you would do that. Oh no, Lori. Okay. Are these fees separate from the sites that say all taxes and fees included? Um, so those are separate, yes. So if there are fees that somebody has to pay at the resort, there will be fine print on the payment screen that will tell you. And it usually it's either a small little writing, of course, or it'll be highlighted. Like on Vax, it's usually highlighted in red and it has like a little warning symbol and it says hotel advisory, for example, and it'll have anything. Like Mexico is really big now. It is they have a mandatory tax that they charge at the resort. Pretty much anywhere you go in Mexico now, and it ends up to being like $1.60 a day or something like that per room. So it's not a lot in Mexico, but it is something that they need to be prepared to pay when they go. So I was debating going to Maine for a week. It was on the list and not too expensive. Try it out. Let us know how it goes. I'm actually going to Maine next summer, and so I may try to use Profit Agility as well, maybe, because I also want a cabin on a lake with a hot tub. So we'll see. Do you need a passport for those places? For the Dominican, yes. For Puerto Rico, you do not. So it depends on where you're looking at. So like this one here, Dominican is the first one it brings up. Yes, Dominican, you have to have a passport. It's gonna be the same guidelines as any other destination. So you'll just need to look and see. You link your Square account with Profit Agility. No, you do not link it. So you'll have your Square App account, okay? And when you're taking your client's payment, you're going to have them on the phone while you're processing their payment, and you can process the payment. You can pay yourself to your Square account, or there's another way you can do it is you can actually, when you're on Square, you can actually send your client a link with like an invoice, and they can actually pay it directly through that link as well. So there's options there, and you can always send that out first and then get them on the phone and process their payment on Profit Agility. How do I explain a wholesale fee? I just let them know. I just tell them this is the total. It's X amount, but the property also charges a wholesale fee. That's what I tell them. Property charges a wholesale fee. And usually they're not going to question it anyways, because if you're saving somebody $100 or whatever the case may be, they're just going to be happy that they're saving the money, right? Who cares if it costs 3 transactions or whatever? They're just happy to be saving. Yes, I will get to Tin Lake. Don't worry. I will get there. So I'm actually, I just wanted to explain the wholesale things. So now I'm actually getting ready to go into that and buy a tour. So Tin Leg, let me log into that. So Tin Leg is all they do is travel insurance. That's it. Okay. So when you and they're really easy to register with, you send an email to Archer. The instructions are in the travel cafe under suppliers. Once I sent the email off to get registered with them, I had approval in like an hour. So it's really easy to get registered with them. But once you are, if you go here to account, okay, right here it says sub agent link information. You click on this little hyperlink. You can actually copy and paste this to a client in an email or a text, and they can actually put in, because you want your client to, you could do this for them over the phone. I prefer to let the client do this themselves because they can then read through every nitty-gritty detail of all the policies that are available, and I'm not stuck with the oh, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't want to have that weight on my shoulders of accidentally not getting the quote that they getting them the protection that they need for their trip. I don't want to be in charge of all the fine details. And so I would send this hyperlink over to my client and say, hey, if you're wanting added, trip insurance for whatever reason, you can choose it. They put in their country, so they're a US resident, and it does not take long. So I'm in Texas. So let's say I'm buying this trip insurance. How many travelers? It's me and my husband, or I'm going solo, I guess. Okay. And then when do you leave? You put the date and everything, and it's going to bring up several options for different levels of trip protection, and all of the different policy information will be listed under each one. Okay, super easy. They can purchase this. If they purchase it, you will get an email letting you know that somebody has purchased a 10-leg policy, and then you will then fill out your commission tracking form, and it'll show you how much their policy is. Okay, the commission for 10-leg is 17% across the board. Doesn't matter how little or how much they spend. Any policy automatically comes with 17% commission payout. And it's very easy. You just send the link to your client and say, there you go, have fun, basically. Like, it's nothing difficult at all. Do you know if they do coverage only while on vacation? What do you
Like
mean, Natalie?
medical coverage while only like on vacation. Cause like, for example, Vax, like you can do the travel protection plus, coverage during vacation. And I was trying to like go through like American Airlines, but their like insurance only covers, trip delays and stuff like that, not medical. So I was trying to find like an outside source for, just
I believe they do. So let's take a look real quick. We'll go ahead and put something in here. So this search include trip cancellation coverage? Yes, why not? Absolutely. What is the cost of your trip? Let's say I'm spending $800. When did you? Okay. Let's see, I booked it back on the 4th. Why not? I'm going to Cancun by myself, apparently. Mexico. I'm looking for the city. So it'll bring up all your different policy options. Okay, as you can see, there is a lot. Okay, so if you were to click on it, it'll go into all the details. But down here, it shows you everything. Trip cancellation, and it shows you what it covers for each one of these ones above. Trip interruption, hurricane and weather, terrorism, financial, employment layoff, cancel for medical reasons. So they have all of that all the way across the board. Okay. And so they're in columns. So you would do like, okay, well, this is the 10-leg gold. This is going to cost me $66 for any coverage that's listed in this column underneath it. Okay. And then they have cancel for any reason. And if you wanted that, you could then select that as well. And it shows that it's going to increase my insurance price by $33. Now I'm going to be paying $99 instead of $66, but I can cancel for any reason up to like the day before I go, and I'm covered. So they have medical coverage for COVID-19 listed here, other different levels of medical coverage. So yes, they do have it it goes into great detail. So 10 leg is awesome, but that's pretty much how that works. Okay. All right, no problem, Lori. You're welcome. So the only other one, let's see, here we got about 5 minutes left. For excursions and activities, I always go to Viator. It almost always has the best prices, if not the best, they're comparable. Again, you don't want to use Rakuten if you want your 10% commission, which is going to be more a better payout than your 6%, unless you're doing a huge thing. Depends. But typically it's better payout if you use commission. So I'm just going to remind you later to get that gone. So on Viator, you can book all kinds of excursions and activities. You could type in a destination. Apparently, guys, I have Cancun on the brain, if you couldn't tell. And go here and it'll bring up all these different tour and activity options and show how much they are and all of that stuff. You can select the dates. Thing I like about this is you can book this for your client, or you can click this little box here that says share with client, and it will send them a link. And when they open it, it'll open to this page right here that has Cancun. If they deviate away from this and they start looking at Hawaii, or they start looking at Rome or whatever, anywhere else, doesn't matter. If they decide they want to go somewhere else too and they book something for New York City, you will get an email letting you know that they've booked it through your link, because they started through your link. So even if they deviate away from this, anything they book during that, it will still go to you. You'll get an email notification that somebody has booked, and then you'll be able to fill out your commission tracking form. So that's Viator. And then for obviously for like concerts and events, we do have Golden Ticket and Events 365 that we can use for concerts, sporting events, and things like that. Sometimes the prices aren't great, but we do have a decent selection with those too. And that's pretty much it. Unless anybody has any last minute questions, I'm happy to assist with that. Anybody before we hop off have any questions? All right, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed. I am going to, it has, bleh, goodness gracious, it has been recorded. And so as soon, yes, as soon as it finishes uploading and everything, I will put it on my YouTube channel, and then I will take that and share it in the chats as well. So you guys can share it with your teams and whatnot. It will be. So, all right. You guys are very welcome. Everybody have a blessed day. Go out, get those bookings and team building, whatever it is you're trying to do. Hope you find all the success, and you guys have a great day.